Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Chair. All right. So I'd like to ask some more questions regarding the lawyer, Mr. Vandenberg, who I understand is a partner at Osler, correct? And Mr. Vandenberg is also on the internal SDTC committee. He's a member, correct? Yes? Yes, and he was largely responsible for creating the legal opinion that your company sought after the whistleblowers made known their complaints. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes? Can I have an answer, please?
Yes.
Thank you. And it probably brings to new light, I suppose, the comments from your spokesperson, Jan Mary Bannigan, who commented to the CBC that after the investigation began, this is the investigation regarding Grant Thornton, that SDTC brought in legal counsel to conduct an internal review. She declined to say what the results of that review had been, but told CBC last month that it found nothing to substantiate the allegations. And I remark on your comments, Ms. Verschuren, that in your opening comments or in response to a question, you found the assessment, the report done by one of your own, to be very thorough, probably very objective, right? Which is very interesting because obviously the two of you, Ms. Verschuren and Ms. Lawrence, I think you really need a refresher on what conflict of interest really means. And quite frankly, Mr. Vandenberg, being a member of the Ontario Bar, certainly has responsibilities as a lawyer to understand what a conflict of interest is. Not actually an actual conflict, which this clearly is, but a perceived conflict. And in fact, he was paid for this report as well. So, to both you, Ms. Lawrence and Ms. Verschuren, how much was Mr. Vandenberg paid?
So if I could correct some assumptions there, Mr. Brock.
How much was he paid?
First of all, the Osler
Ma'am, how much was he paid?
If you would let me finish, please.
No,
I think
I'm
there's
asking the
some
question,
pertinent facts
ma'am.
here.
Mr. Brock,
You've made some
Mr. Brock
assumptions
asked
that
a
are
question, Ms. Lawrence. If
How
you
much
could
was
answer
he
his
paid?
question and then take some time afterwards.
I don't have that information. I think
Will you,
what's
will you
important-
table the information as to how much he was paid?
We can do that, of course. Now, if I could correct some things that Mr. Brock said, Mr. Vandenberg had absolutely nothing to do with the Osler report. As per professional practices in legal situations like these, an independent counsel from Toronto was appointed, and they had no communications as per best practices of the profession. So the assertion that Mr.
So Ms. Lawrence, this is my time. Ms. Lawrence, this is my time. Ms. Lawrence, this is my time. He is a partner at that law firm. There is a conflict of interest procedure and policy in every single law firm.
Yes, and
he should have declined that because they're not the only national firm in Canada. All right, they may have a good reputation, but they're not the only firm. So I want to know how much Osler was paid for this report. I want to know specifically what time Mr. Vandenberg put into the report. And I also want to bring to your attention Section 16 of the Canada Foundation for Sustainable Development Technology Act, which prohibits members from receiving remuneration for that type of service.
Mr. Vandenberg.
So thank you for that. I'm asking questions. I'm not asking for any editorial, ma'am. I am not. This is my time.
Provide the information that
ma'am,
you
this is my time.
As we already
I
said,
have the
Mr.
floor,
Brock.
ma'am. Ms. Lawrence, I have the floor.
Mr. Brock.
I asked the questions.
Mr. Brock, you have the floor. Ask the questions, please. Ms. Lawrence, we're try to keep it to one person talking at a time.
Understood, Mr.
Yeah,
Chair.
thank you, ma'am.
Ms. Lawrence, will you table all the emails regarding your concerns about the appointment of Ms. Verschuren as the chair of the board between yourself and the ministry officials, chief of staff, PMO, and PCO, because we have evidence that you felt there was definitely a conflict of interest on her appointment. Will you table all of those emails between yourself and the government?
I did advise the chair to contact the Ethics Commissioner. She did that, and of course, we can make available information.
Thank you very much. I believe that's my time, Chair.
Minute, Mr. Brock.
Oh, I have one
Yeah,
more
we're
minute.
we're in the 6-minute.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Now, I want to get into some questions for you, Mr. McConnachie, because it appears as if you really want to substantially backtrack on the captured words and phrases and sentences and paragraphs that you used in recorded conversations. That's real evidence. When you're dealing with evidence, sometimes you have allegations, sometimes you have real evidence. This is real evidence. This is your words. And when I take a look at a number of the quotes, and I don't have all the quotes, I know we're talking about several minutes, if not hours, there's no suggestion in any of the things that you're saying to the whistleblowers that qualifies your statements. And you wanted to impress upon us here at committee that these were speculations on your part. There's nothing here to say speculation. There's very clear, definite concerns that you have that this company, SDTC, was definitely
Mr. Brock,
mismanaging.
That's the minute.
Oh,
It's a long minute.
I'm sorry, I have to keep it tight here, so that was the minute. Go ahead.